Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Emily. As you can tell by the title, in today's video I'm going to be taking you guys through my whole physical TBR, which means all of the books that I have not yet read that I have physical copies for. There is actually quite a lot of books on my physical TBR that I haven't read, and I know that it's like overconsumption at this point, but I'm a mood reader and I like having options, and it's just gone a little bit crazy. I think there's like a couple of hundred, but I'll have to count like at the end after I'm finished going through them all. I don't want to ramble on too much. I really hope the lighting in this video is not too bad because it's a very gloomy day today in Melbourne, unfortunately. This is the only day of the week that I had to film this video, and it's been sunny every day besides today, which is really frustrating. So I feel like what would make the most sense is to go through my TBR cart first, which is kind of like my priority TBR. These are the books that are more on my radar that I want to pick up sooner rather than later, and I'm not going to ramble on about the books too much because otherwise this video will literally go for hours. So I'm just going to kind of tell you guys what each of the books are. First one is called Cruel as the Light by Sophie Clark. This is actually an ARC copy that I received from Penguin, and I'm honestly so excited about this. I had no idea I was even receiving this until it showed up at my door, and I was like, this actually sounds really good. It's like a YA romantasy. I have Lovely War by Julie Berry, Consider Me by Becca Mack, which is the first book in the Playing for Keeps series. I've just heard some really good things about it recently, so I bought the first book to try it out. Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune, Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez, The Happy Ever After playlist also by Abby Jimenez, This Summer Will Be Different by Carly Fortune, Book Lovers by Emily Henry, The Bodyguard by Catherine Center, Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater, People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry, Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams, and Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole. I also got them in like rainbow order. I used to have my whole bookshelves in rainbow order, which is kind of an ick because I literally separate authors, but I feel like it works for the TBR card. The Unmaking of June Farrow, Unsteady by Peyton Corrine. I am honestly so excited about this one because I've been seeing a lot of people compare this to the Boys of Torment series recently, and I don't want to like go into it with that expectation, but I kind of feel like I'm going to. It's actually going to be the next book that I read as I'm filming this, so I'm honestly very excited for this one. 28 Summers by Ellen Hildebrand, As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow, Scarlet by Marissa Meyer, City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. Fun fact, I have never read a Cassandra Clare book, and honestly I think at the end of last year I said that I was going to read Her World this year, but I haven't even read the first one. Anyway, The Book of Azriel, Immortal Dark, The Haunting by Natasha Preston, Ruthless Fae, which is the second book in the Zodiac Academy series, The Games Gods Play, and All In by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. So as I said, these are the books that are on my priority TBR. Now I'm going to go onto the actual bookshelves. Also, I completely forgot to mention, I'm not actually going to take any of these books off my shelves because I will literally have to like reorganize my whole bookshelves, and I actually did that recently in a video, so I'm not going to be doing that again. So I'm literally just going to like go through the shelves and like not really take any of the books off, if that makes any sense. Anyway, starting at the bottom over here with the books I haven't read, I have Tom Lake, Again by E. Lockhart, Bright Young Women by Jessica Knoll, Carrie Soto Is Back, Malibu Rising. I have this little stack here. I haven't read Maybe in Another Life, After I Do, or Forever Interrupted, but I definitely want to read all of these books. I just realized you can't even see where I'm pointing, but it's like a Taylor Jenkins Reid stack. Anxious People, A Man Called Ove, Beartown. Again, I would love to read a Frederick Backman book very soon. Perks of Being a Wallflower, Turtles All the Way Down, The Memory Keeper's Daughter, Babel, The Secret History, and Lessons in Chemistry. On this shelf here, I have some of my like really pretty classic books. I haven't actually read any of these ones. This one is Little Women. This one is Pride and Prejudice, Sense and Sensibility, and Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. And then this one is like the hand-painted edition of Persuasion. The reason why I have so many of these, even though I haven't read them, is just because my mum actually buys them for me as like little gifts sometimes, and I just think they're so pretty. Hence why they're on display, and I do want to get to them at some point, but honestly it's a little bit scary picking up classics. 1984 by George Orwell, another copy of Sense and Sensibility because I want to read the paperback rather than reading that version. Rebecca by Daphne de Maura, Wuthering Heights, The Dictionary of Lost Words, and the second Aristotle and Dante book because I have actually read the first one. Then onto the shelf up here we have Tonight I Burn, Feybound, Cassandra Clare's Swordcatcher, which is like part of a new world that she's created. I have some Fairy Loot editions here that are flipped backwards, so I have A Tempest of Tea by Hafsa Faisal, The Temptation of Magic by Megan Scott, and Sleep Like Death by Kaylin Bayron. This one actually looks amazing. I'm very excited for this one. We have Where the Dark Stands Still. I haven't read A Curse for True Love yet, but I have read the first two. One for My Enemy, Masters of Death, Alone with You in the Ether. Have read the first Atlas 6 book, but I haven't read the Atlas Paradox or the Atlas Complex yet. Now let's move on to the next shelves. Okay, onto the next shelves. These are kind of like my thriller shelves mainly. currently. And then I have another fantasy shelf up here. If you have watched my bookshelf tour or book reorganization video that I've posted recently, you would know more in depth about my organization. Not going to really get into that here. But to start off at the bottom, I have None Shall Sleep. I believe this one's called The Chalk Man. The Ones You Trust, End of Story, There Should Have Been 8. Good Bad Girl, The Anonymous Girl, The Last Thing You Told Me, Rouge, 19 Steps, The Grace Year, At the End of Everything, A Haunting in Venice, Keep You Close, History Is All You Left Me, The Maid, Bunny, The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, Sand Sequins and Silicone, The Fault in Our Stars, and Eventown. I just realised you can't even see. I'm literally in the way. This is not going well so far. Anyway, I've read all of these books. I have Darling Girls, The Soulmate, Bad Blood. Obviously the third book is on my TBR part. The Hawthorne Legacy, The Final Gambit. I read the first one like years ago and then I just haven't really continued. You'll Be the Death of Me, The Vanishing Stair. Yeah, I've read all of these ones. Onto this shelf here, I have Emily Wilde's Map of the Other Lands, A Winter's Promise, A Fate Inked in Blood, The Hurricane Wars, Dragon Rider, 6 Crimson Cranes, Ruthless Vows I haven't read yet, and then I've got some more Fairy Loot editions here. So I have The Night Ends with Fire by KX Song, Darker by 4 by June CL Tan. I'm probably saying these names so incorrectly. And The Darkness Within Us by Trisha Levenseller. Going across to this little middle shelf, I used to have these books as purely like display books, like special edition. Now I've kind of kept my books going across because I feel like they were taking up a lot of space where like I needed more space for my actual books. So down here, the books I haven't read are Toxic Positivity, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. I don't think I will ever read that. Atomic Habits, Matthew Perry's memoir, Blue Sisters, The Power of Now, On Writing, Everything I Know About Love. I do really want to read The Daily Stoic and A Stolen Life. This one's such like a random shelf. It's honestly just got the most weird combination of books. On here, I haven't read The Institute, Misery by Stephen King, Final Girls by Riley Sager, Five Little Liars, The Thursday Murder Club, The Package, and The Girl Before. And then on here, I've read all of these. This is the Dance of Thieves duology, which I haven't read yet, but I did buy the books because I couldn't help myself. This one is of Jade and Dragons by Amber Chen, and this one is called The Girl with No Reflection by Keshi Chow. Going on to my last bookshelf, at least along the bottom, I still have quite a lot of shelves to go through. First of all, I have these Hunger Games special deluxe editions. I actually don't know which Hunger Games books I've read. I believe I read like the first 2 in high school or even earlier, maybe even like the end of primary school. And I do definitely want to reread these, but I believe I just haven't read Mockingjay or The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Up here, I have some more special editions. So I have Goddess of the River by, I'm not even going to try to say that name. You guys can read it. And Fathom Folk by Eliza Chan. I haven't read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Quicksilver, I got like halfway through and soft DNF'd it. I will go back into that one. Pendragon Witch and House of Earth and Blood, House of Sky and Breath. This one is called Long Live Evil by Sarah Reese Brennan. And I received this one recently from an author as well. It's called A Tribute of Fire by Soraya Wilson. I'm honestly very, very excited for this one. Now that we have gone through all of the shelves along the bottom, I'm going to put my camera up and we're going to go through some of the higher shelves. I literally have 8 bookshelves on each like shelf, if that makes any sense. So there's still a lot to go through. Okay, now on to the next 3 bookshelves. I'm going to do these 3 all the way across and then we'll go to the last 2 afterwards. Starting off here, I haven't read the whole Throne of Glass series. I've only read The Assassin's Blade and I'm currently reading Throne of Glass at the moment. Legendary and Finale by Stephanie Garber I haven't read yet, and the Cruel Prince trilogy I also haven't read. Onto this shelf, I haven't read Daughter of the Moon Goddess, Throne of the Fallen, A River Enchanted, Daughter of the Pirate King, Belladonna, The Night Circus and the Starless Sea by Eric Morgenstern, Graceling, These Hollow Vows, Daughter of Smoke and Bone, The Ravens, Discovery of Witches, If We Were Villains, and Dance of Thieves. I literally haven't read like any of these books. And then going onto this shelf, this is one of my romance shelves. I haven't read King of Wrath or King of Pride. I don't know if I ever will. Fire Thread, Meant to Be, and Die for You by Lauren Jackson. Caught Up and Play Along by Liz Tomford. I'm also currently reading The Right Move and I'm listening to it as an audiobook. Moving on to the next shelves, I haven't read the Red Queen series by Victoria Aveyard. Cress and Winter by Marissa Meyer I haven't read yet, and obviously Scarlet was on my priority TBR cart. The Renegades trilogy by Marissa Meyer, Circe by Madeline Miller, The Obsidian Tower, and Assistant to the Villain and Apprentice to the Villain. This shelf, I haven't read A Study in Drowning. I haven't read the Akane series, but I actually don't have the whole series yet because I did buy a few of them secondhand from someone. The Blood Trader by Lynette Noni. I have read the first, but I need to buy the second, so I've got the first and the third here. I know it does not make much sense. Clockwork Angel Angel by Cassandra Clare and Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare. The House in the Cerulean Sea. This is a special edition of The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I just haven't read it yet, obviously. Ice Planet Barbarians. Honestly, I'm probably going to get rid of this because I know I'm not going to like it. Snow Globe, The Priory of the Orange Tree, These Violent Delights, and Foul Lady Fortune by Chloe Gong. Now onto this shelf, I haven't read Dishonestly Yours by Kristen Rebecca Ritchie yet, and I've only read up to Kiss the Sky, so I haven't read Hot House Flower or Thrive yet, and I also do not have the whole series here yet because obviously I'm not up to them. Culty, The Best Thing, and From Lukov with Love by Mariana Zapata. I haven't read these three yet. My Killer Vacation, Fangirl Down, Fix Her Up, Secretly Yours, and It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. For some reason, I'm very intimidated to read her books and have not yet read one. To All the Boys I've Loved Before, X's and O's, The Kiss Quotient, and My Dark Vanessa. Moving on to this little shelf in the middle. Again, I don't actually know how many of the Twilight books that I've read in the past, but since getting back into reading, I've only read the first one, which is Twilight. Definitely do want to read this whole series though. And on this shelf, the only book I haven't read is Book Lovers and A Thousand Broken Pieces. Okay, on this side, I haven't read the Percy Jackson series yet. I only just got these recently after finishing Harry Potter. Literally know nothing about the story, so it's going to be my first time ever reading them. Vicious, Vengeful, and A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab, and The Lovers by Yumna Kassab. Again, probably said that incorrectly. Also, this is a fake candle. Do not worry, I would not put my books at risk like that. The Serpent and Dove trilogy, Lightlark and Nightbane. The Divergent series I've never read. The Hunger Games, obviously I said before I don't know which ones I've read, and Orphea by Joanne M. Harris. And the last shelf here, I haven't read The True Love Experiment, Twice in a Blue Moon, The Soulmate Equation, or Something Wilder by Christina Lauren. Also Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating by Christina Lauren. Kiss Thief, Love in the Time of Serial Killers, Funny You Should Ask. Don't know if I'll get to this just because I heard such negative reviews on the second book. Last Chance Books, Beach Rivals, Not in a Billion Years, Pretty Reckless, Blame It on the Mistletoe, Window Shopping, Baby It's Cold Outside, A Merry Little Meet Cute. I may have read this one, I can't remember. Wreck the Halls by Tessa Bailey, Home for Christmas, and Kiss Her Once for Me. So I have quite a lot of like Christmassy, holiday themed books there that I haven't read, but I definitely want to get to some this year. Anyway, now that I've gone through those, we have 2 bookshelves along the top to go. And honestly, I feel like there's quite a few books along those shelves that I haven't read yet. So give me a second to put my camera up again. Okay, I'm so sorry for the awkward angle. My tripod actually doesn't go up any taller because these bookshelves are very tall. I'm literally standing on a stool right now. If you've watched like my bookshelf tour videos, you would know that like this is the best angle that you're gonna get. Anyway, along the top, I've read Magnolia Parks Universe. I've read all of these. Obviously, they're like my 2 favorite series. So up here, I haven't read Juniper Hill, Garnet Flats, or Jasper Vale by Devaney Perry, The Love of My Afterlife, or What Happens After Midnight. On this shelf here, I haven't read Loathe to Love You, Love on the Brain, or Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood, The Rule Book, The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams, Out on a Limb by Hannah Burnham Young, and Girl in Pieces and You'd Be Home Now by Kathleen Glasgow. These shelves don't have many like TBR books on them, to be honest, because they're honestly filled up with my favourite series ever. Up on this shelf, I have not read Radio Silence, Loveless, I Was Born for This Winter, or Nick and Charlie by Alice Oseman, Pack Up the Moon by Kristen Higgins, Vicious and My Dark Romeo by L.J. Shen, Court of the Vampire Queen, Ghosted, and I think I've read all of these ones. Yep, I've read all of these. I actually pretty much got rid of all of my Colleen Hoover books that I hadn't read yet because I'm just not really, like I don't vibe with her books as much anymore, but these ones all like hold a special place in my heart because like they're the books that got me back into reading. Anyway, onto this shelf, I have not read Terms and Conditions or Final Offer by Lauren Asher, Love Unwritten I haven't read yet, or Throttled, Life's Too Short and The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez, have not read yet, Mr. Wrong Number by Lynn Painter, Good Girl Complex and Girl Abroad by Al Kennedy, and then this is the Off-Campus series. I've only read The Deal and I got halfway through The Mistake before DNFing it, so I definitely want to reread The Deal and then read the rest of them for the first time. Leather and Lark by Bryn Weaver, The Pumpkin Spice Cafe, and Love and Gelato. Up here, I haven't read Sweet Baby, If Hearts Didn't Break. This one is another special edition. This was actually from like an Australian special edition company called Bookish and Spice. It is called Trick by Natalia Juster. It honestly looks really, really good. I'm actually excited for this one. one. Die For You by Lauren Jackson I haven't read, and then here is 2 other special editions. We have The Gods Below by Andrea Stewart and The Dagger and the Flame by Catherine Doyle. I've heard some really good things about this recently. And then on this shelf I have not read Love Light Farms or In the Weeds by B.K. Borison yet. Swift and Saddled I haven't read, and Off to the Races and A Photo Finish by Elsie Silver, which is like her old series that's like getting mass published now. Okay, now onto the last 2 shelves. This is probably like the worst lighting ever, but it's like the best I can get. On this shelf I pretty much haven't read like any of these books. Things We Leave Unfinished, The Bromance Book Club, A Not So Meet Cute, Never Getting Back Together, The Ex-Hex, The Witch Is Back, My Policeman, Pucking Around, Where I Belong and All I Want, If Only I Had Told Her, The Perfect Couple, Love Just In, Fool Me Once, Still Beating, Behind the Net, The Paper Palace, The Hating Game, Second First Impressions, and 99% Mine. And then the top shelf, I honestly haven't read many of these either because I'm not really a dark romance girl, even though I've ended up with so many. Sweetest Oblivion, Bound by Honor, Hunting Adeline, The Finish Line by Kate Stewart, Corrupt by Penelope Douglas, Priest, Before We Were Strangers. This is not a dark romance. I don't know why that's up there, to be honest. Little Bird, Bully, Ninth House. I don't think that's a dark romance either. I honestly don't know. Scarred and Wretched by Emily McIntyre. This is not the whole series. Only One Night, Praise, Brutal Prince, and Neon Gods. Okay, so now I have gone through every single book that is on my physical TBR. Hopefully this video didn't end up too long. I feel like I've been recording for a while, but I also feel like it went very quickly. If you have read any of these books and you loved them and I have not yet read them, please let me know in the comments and convince me to read them. It honestly like hurts to think about the fact that like there's so many of these books that I will probably love and adore, but I just haven't picked them up yet, so I haven't like figured that out yet. Please give the video a like if you did enjoy it because it really helps me out, and definitely stay if you want to see some more content from me. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will hopefully see you in my next one.